So I still think we're in the experimentation phase. We haven't seen a AAA game that tops the App Store charts that was sort of vibe coded yet. It still shows like it's not quite there yet, because why haven't we seen a kid making a hit game that sells 10 million copies, right? That should be possible given the effort that's gone in. So something's still somehow missing.
I think MCP and tools are stupid.
You support MCP.
I support MCP and we support tools and everything. They make absolutely no sense to me. You are going to be interacting with data sources, right? And you're going to be interacting with things that are installed on some form of a virtual machine. And what we are doing is that we're putting a layer in between those things. We're putting like MCP in between, we're putting tool calls in between. And this is even more about tool calls than MCP, where the model can just write the code and interact with the system.
So it's basically LLM plus shell plus file system plus markdown plus cron. And it turns out that's an agent. And every part of that other than the model is something that we already completely know and understand. And like the full power of your computer is available at the command line level. And then it turns out it's really easy to expose other functions as a command line interface. And so like this whole idea where we need like MCP and these like fancy protocols, whatever, it's like, no, we don't. We just need like a command line thing.
Just on the issue of timing, I would distinguish between pre-training or pre-trained, which is to say like raw model readiness versus thoroughly post-trained. And then for post-training, I really don't think there's a lab out there that can afford to have a post-trained model sitting on the shelf for more than a few months. I'd be very surprised if there are advanced frontier models that are sitting internally without release that are more than 3 to 4 months ahead of what's publicly available.
Large language models are, we're going to put all this knowledge into the system, and the large language model will not learn when it runs. It's talking to people, it's interacting. It is absolutely, the weights never change. They claim they like a PhD level experience and expertise out of something that doesn't learn at all anymore.
But the reality is you can't charge anything for the weights. You can charge for the compute, you can charge for the inference that you're providing, you can charge for essentially consulting services to help put the whole thing together. But if you're not at the frontier, you can't charge for the model layer itself. If you are at the frontier, you can charge a premium.
Brilliant intelligence can migrate from any product to any other product.
There's a really interesting question about whether this is going in the direction of a commodity. Like, is intelligence going to be a pure fungible commodity like rate of the whale or something?
Intelligence itself, I would say yes.
So what is not going to be?
Compute fleet, like the scale of the compute fleet, the ability to make more compute, I think that's like a very durable advantage.
So I think you misunderstand that AI is a 5-layer cake. And at the lowest layer is energy. When you have abundance of energy, it makes up for chips. If you have abundance of chips, it makes up for energy. But if your amount of watts is completely abundant, it's free. What do you care about performance per watt for? You get plenty. You can use old chips to do so. 7-nanometer chips are essentially Hopper. Today's models are largely trained on Hopper. So 7-nanometer chips are plenty good. The abundance of energy is their advantage.
The one that came before that was Hopper 2022. The one that came before that was Ampere 20. Rental prices, even for the older stuff, are going up, not down, right? And even for the stuff that's fully depreciated, they're very profitable to use. So these GPUs do not disintegrate after 3 years, right? They are still usable. If we run into a scenario where demand falls off and I don't need that old compute, then I worry about lifetime and depreciation, but we're screwed anyway. So like, who cares?
Interesting. So I guess he made the point during the interview that the specific blade for the specific turbine he was looking at, the lead times for that go out beyond 2030. And your point is that
that's great. There's so many other ways to make energy.
Okay, so
like just be inefficient. Like it's fine.
Right. So now I guess combined cycle gas turbines have CapEx of $1,500 per kilowatt.
It can be as high as $3,500 per kilowatt even, right? So it could be twice as much as the cost of combined cycle. Hopper pricing, $1.40 now becomes, the power price doubles. Okay, the Hopper that was $1.40 is now $1.50 in cost.
Right.
It's like, I don't care because the models are improving so fast that the marginal utility of them is worth way more than that 10-cent increase in energy.
Hear what you think it would mean for the U.S. to win the AI race.
I think it would be very problematic for the U.S. to win. Let's say we take the most sort of fantastical scenario where if you control AI, your military is better than anyone else. But in this world, what is the game theory optimal response of China? To blow up TSMC. game theory can get very sort of convoluted and complex. To me, this one actually isn't that complicated.